What's happening, YouTube? Welcome to the Mr. Winslow channel. I am Mr. Winslow, your host, and today we're going to be discussing a very hot topic which deals primarily with the black church is dying. I do realize that in the videos of the past, I have focused on situations that occurred not only in the black community but in the world community, because sometimes things that happen in one community can happen in other ones. However, this video is going to be tailor-made for the African American / black community, which deals with the black church. So without any further ado, let's get started, shall we? If we look at the black church is dying and we just take an objective viewpoint to this topic, we must first realize that there are 4 factors that are destroying the black church. That is correct. We learned in videos of the past that the black church is fueled by faith, and soldiers belonging to the army of faith inhabit the black church. However, the soldiers belonging to the army of fact inhabit the atheist community, because atheists don't have a church, we have a community. So that's number one. But if we want to look at the main reason, or the number one primary reason why the black church is dying, we must look at the unanswered prayers. That would probably be number one. Unanswered prayers have probably created more atheists out of believers than any other thing on the planet. There have been believers who have prayed the prayers, who have sang the songs, who have read the scriptures for decades. However, no miracle comes to pass. That would probably be the number one thing. If we look at the number two cause, this is something that we see every day. However, a blind eye is turned to it, or a look the other way type of attitude is taken to this thing. The number two thing would be the sheer divisiveness that occurs through religion. Yes, divisiveness. You can look at the marquee of the churches in your neighborhood and see this divisiveness at work. To be divisive means to divide, and the church definitely has a way of doing this. Black community, there is a Kojic, there is a First Baptist, there is a First Methodist, there is a United Methodist Christian, and so on. There are definitely dividing lines instead of ties that bind in the black community, especially when we look at the black church. So this in and of itself is the number two reason. The number three reason of why the black church is dying has to be one that deals with the simple, undeviating fact that more people are educating themselves on the Bible. There are more black Christians, there are more black Muslims, there are more black Jews who are actually reading the Bible. They're reading the Torah, they're reading the Quran, and they're seeing the sheer lunacy contained within those scriptures. They're doing the homework. They're looking at science fact and they're weighing it against science fiction. This number three thing is something that is definitely creating more atheists than any other thing. It ties in with number one. However, this video said that there were 4 things that were destroying the black church. And yes, we went over the unanswered prayers. Yes, we went over the divisiveness. And yes, we talked about the people doing their own research. The number 4 thing that is destroying the black church. Oh yes, this book right here, The Black Atheist in America. This book has the potential to be the number one cause to destroying your church. Whether you are a Kojic, whether you are a Jew, whether you are a Sunni Muslim, whatever you want to call yourself, this book to the church is like kryptonite to Superman. It is like arsenic to a human being. I double dare any of the believers out there to even read this book, and I personally guarantee that your faith will not be the same. You are going to start asking those questions. You are going to start to say, wait a minute, I'm going to weigh what this book says against what my Bible, my Torah, and my Quran says. And you are going to see proof positive for yourself just where reality starts and fantasy ends. In closing, Black community, I am an African American myself. I understand that there are some of you who are going to say, Mr. Winslow, you're a sellout. What about those avatars in Black history that were responsible for giving us our civil rights that came from the church? People like Martin Luther King. I'll reply to you, what about A.Phillip Randolph? You'll try to bring up someone like Coretta Scott King, and I'll bring up someone like Zora Neale Hurston. Yes, atheists in the Black community are on the rise. I beckon you atheists that are in the church house right now. Leave their church house and embrace reason and understanding. Let the Black church die. We don't need it. It's outlived its usefulness. It is something that needs to go into the arms of obsolescence. Join us. From the Mr. Winslow Studios. Peace.